All right. Crazy patch. We're in the middle of our lovely tournament, right before playoffs start too, which is hilarious. You know, just when you think you have a good read on what you're doing with your team and up against everybody else, all goes out the window. All right. I didn't see much of this yet. I did see the first line, which blows my mind. Facets been removed from the game. Um, I mean, that in itself is like guarantee that they've made some major hero changes. Um, I'm a little bit sad, honestly. I think facets are a cool way to kind of bring some diversity to the heroes and kind of allow Valve to make some balance changes to heroes and allow for players to kind of play heroes in more different ways. But I'm guessing some heroes are going to have multiple of their facets rolled just into their kit. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. All right. So I'm gonna get right into it. I'm just gonna try to crack through this pretty quick. Uh, yeah. So innate abilities no longer scale with other abilities levels. Okay. Fair dues. Hey, Dave. Thanks for tuning in. I know you did a patch review yourself. Uh, I didn't spoil anything for myself, so I'm gonna run through this and I'm gonna watch yours and see the contrast. Yeah, if you guys are watching, check out Dave's channel too. He did a patch review as well. All innate abilities that you use to scale with other abilities now either provide unchangeable bonuses or improve on per level basis. Okay. Okay. I mean that I like that. It's kind of simplified. Having to remember like innates and which skill they actually scale with. I mean, I think it's just a little bit of simplicity for both development, but also just playing. Abilities that improve with hero level base value and increment value. Some also have the amount levels required for the increment. Abilities that improve each level provide their increment value at level 1. Okay. Added UI icon that shows which marker increases the hero level and what is the current value. So quality of life. Some non-innate abilities might have this per level UI as well. Okay. This probably makes more sense when you see it. Turn up boy. Abilities had per level scaling changed to be per level. Interesting. So this mostly affects heroes reworked in updates 7.0 and Largo. Flagbearer creep experience bounty increased by 3, so slight buff to that. First +1 siege creep timing decreased. So we're getting stronger siege creeps earlier. Second, or we're getting more siege creeps. I guess you had 2 siege creeps at 35, now it's at 30. Second +1 siege creep timer now occurs at 60. Is that just an addition or was that before? I think you only got maximum of 2 catapults, didn't you? Maybe not. If you do get a third catapult, I think late game, that's just going to make sure that games don't go on for a crazy amount more time. Mind you, at that stage of the game, your team's so strong that you might not even notice an extra catapult. Uh, Adjusted the meeting point of the lane creeps toward the off lane. Now, offlane creeps are slightly slowed upon leaving the base for a couple seconds. Deep creeps are slightly accelerated. All right, so they want to kind of prevent there's been a lot of creep manipulation. Like the safe lane creeps end up getting blocked by the off lane to try and force them under the towers. So I think this is to try and balance that a little bit. Both these changes are effective until the 7:30 mark. Okay. Yeah, they want to just kind of stabilize laning stage for that, I guess. All sections of currents now give a maximum move speed bonus of 150. Previously, this was only provided by sections near their base, while the other sections provided a max of. Interesting. I didn't know that. Generally, just more consistent movement speed. Tormentor changes. Tormentor spawns preference has switched. How big is in begins in the bottom? Okay. Just to even things out a little bit. Dire had it for their side, and now Radiant are going to have it on their side. Unyielding shield base barrier increased. Oh, okay. By quite a bit, actually. 50%. Unyielding shield barrier upgrade per minute increased. It looks like they're buffing it. Shield barrier regen decreased. Oh. Okay, so it's not going to regen as much, but it's going to be bigger. So it means it'll probably take longer. I mean, it depends. It'll take longer. I think this is like it definitely feels sometimes when you're doing the Tormentor, you don't have enough damage and you're just not going to break that regen of 40 per second. So I think this can just be a little bit easier for some lineups to kind of take it over time. Reflect base damage reflection percentage decreased. Yeah. So they're actually like nerfing it a bit, actually, I think. Even though they're making the shield barrier higher, so it's going to take more damage to do it, it's not really going to take more damage because you're getting half the regen on it and taking almost half the damage from it. I think it's going to be slightly easier. Reflect radius can now be seen by holding Alt. That's nice. It was a bit ambiguous. The shining base damage decreased. Wow, by 40. Shining damage now increased by 2 per minute. Okay, so it's going to be scaling upwards later into the game. But still, it's not going to... I mean, it's going to take 20 minutes before it's back up to its original. Okay, so late game Tormentor might be a bit more challenging. Now has a 25% status resistance. Okay. Fascinating. For like poisons and stuff? I guess if you're doing armor reduction on it, it might affect it. Bit of a weird one, honestly. I don't really think of status resist too much on the Tormentor. Wonder what effect that's going to have. No longer deals damage to neutral units. Didn't know it did that. I guess maybe you could have pulled the Ancients into it? Are people doing that? Weaver bugs may be affected by that status. Yeah. Definitely some of these ones that like you put something on it for a while and 25%, decent amount. So player that caught the Agnum Shard will no longer receive the 175 gold. Womp womp. Total team gold reward decreased. Reward if all the players have Agnum Shard decreased. Just a little bit. I mean, times 5, right? So an insignificant amount, but Roshan Pit preference has also switched, and now it begins top. Does that mean I'm gonna have to relearn? I had a nice like acronym. Not an acronym, hang, I guess. Sundown, Roche top. Sun up, Roche bottom. Might now be reversed. Wisdom Shrines and Lotus Pools now reverse their counters if heroes from opposing teams enter the area instead of pausing. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Now reverse their counters if heroes from opposing teams enter. So someone's taking it, you step into it to interrupt it, and it'll start undoing the time that they did. Okay. I mean, there were some pretty cool moves that people did with like tricking. Like all you had to do was just be on there for the last instant, the last like microsecond of it going, and just knock them off. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting how this changes things. It'll probably make it a little more contentious. Because you can probably like jump in and out, right? You can do a bit more of like in and out to try and fight it. Like leaving the circle isn't going to punish you as much. You can kind of go back in and undo the counter. Wisdom Shrine's experience changed from 280 per interval to 200 base and 3 per subsequent shrine. Okay. Interesting. 8 per interval. Before it was going up by 280, now there's a base and it's going up by 300. Sure. Okay. There's some math to that. Late in the day, I'm not going to get too much into that. Terrain changes. Tormentor spawns have been positioned closer towards Lotus pools. Okay. Didn't they move them up a bit? Now they're moving them back down. I mean, they changed that whole water area there. And I guess now they're just bringing it down a little bit, which I think is fair. Tormentor spawn areas have been reduced to low ground relative to the lane's level. Tormentor spawn areas have been reduced to low ground relative to the lane's level. But the lane is higher up, isn't it? So did they raise it? I mean, these are like terrain changes. I don't know. I'm going to quickly go over these, but it's just something you're going to have to see. I remember at one point they had these really cool ways that you can see it, but they don't seem to have that feature going right now. Twin gates slightly moved away from the stairs towards the map border. Okay, so more up into the corner. The watcher between the safe lane, one tower, has been repositioned. Result, Tormentor is now on the low ground, which has 3 stairs, now leading the Lotus pool. Oh my god. I'm not going to try. My brain doesn't work this way. I can't read out a paragraph and visualize what a map range looks like. Twin gate higher ground in a smaller area is 3 stairs, 1. Okay. Okay. Lots of terrain changes around the Tormentor. Ancient neutral camps near stream and demoted to a medium camp. And move slightly towards bases. Okay, so that's the far ancient ones by the Tormentor. Right? Near the end of the stream, right? That's the end of the stream. Medium neutral camp near off lane. Defender's Gate have been demoted to small camp. So they're, I mean, that's a significant neutral. I was surprised that they upgraded to have as many ancients as they did. So they're kind of reverting that back now a little bit, which I think is going to affect the economy quite a bit. The tier 1 safe lane towers have been moved slightly away from their pole camps and where creeps meet. So they're down a little bit. Radiant safe lane small camp has been slightly moved north away from the lane. Radiant safe lane hard camp spawn box has been moved towards the off lane. Radiant off lane tier 2 has been adjusted slightly to the left. Okay. Yeah, like these ones, I don't know. I have to see what it looks like. It kind of seems like minor changes here and there. Cool. Always like terrain changes. Shake things up a little bit. Mechanic changes. So health restoration is getting changed. Health restoration now applies to all forms of life gain. Previously, it didn't apply to incoming heals. Okay. So that means if I have an item, like if I have Holy Locket, if someone is healing me, I will get more healing. Am I understanding that right? Incoming healing amplification now stacks diminishingly with health restoration instead of additively with outgoing heal amplification. Health restoration. Oh. Spells that previously had separate value for incoming heal reduction now only modify health restoration. We have Scotty. Yeah, so all our lovely ways to stop Necrophos. Um, I mean, they were starting to do this before, where they're kind of like grouping up the different forms of healing and health, like having it all split out. It's not great for new players. It's just kind of messy, right? So to kind of like consolidate it under one understanding, I think is good. As a result, the changes spells that only modified health restoration will now additionally affect incoming heals. Yeah. Yep. Cool. That means like Sange, anything with Sange is going to feel better. Mm, yeah, and even anything that decreases it as well. That means that if you're, no, that was the case before anyway. I have to wrap my brain around that a little bit. There's probably some like significant change in there, but overall, I think it's just simplifying the mechanic. Lifesteal and damage manipulations. Physical and magical lifesteal will now take into account overall damage reductions implications when computing how much to lifesteal. Ooh. Okay. So if you are life stealing off of someone that is Aeondist, you're not going to be getting health for that. Right? If you're able to reduce the amount of physical or magic damage being done to you, if they're getting health off of that, it's getting reduced now. But it's also getting amplified. It's working both ways. It's interesting. Making lifesteal a little more dynamic. That could have some interesting interactions with some heroes. Historically, lifesteal was calculated before some damage reductions or applications were applied. As a result, you can gain health from attacks that deal no damage. Ah, sorry, it's the other way around then. So it was like that, and now they're just making it a flat amount. You could gain health from attacks that deal no damage. This will not happen anymore. No, this is the first thing that I said. Right. So before lifesteal was calculated before the damage. Yeah, so you're getting lifesteal regardless of reductions or amps. Now the reductions or amps will happen first, and then that will affect the resulting lifesteal. The only amplification that is not taken into account is increasing damage against illusions, which makes sense. You know, you can get some really messy numbers with illusions if you don't cover that. Makes sense. Miscellaneous. All sorts of reflection damage now have an alt node detailing mechanics of reflected damage. Sources of reflected damage now have an alt node. Okay. Reflected damage cannot be reflected back. That's not new, I don't think. Lifesteal and spell lifesteal don't apply to reflected damage, which I think it did at some point, right? Isn't Quap's whole build based off of this, though? Wasn't her whole facet based off of this? I wonder if I mean, they're taking out facets, so maybe Quap's quite different now. Reflected damage does not affect debuff immune units. I always thought this was true, right? Like BKB was always protecting you from blade mail. Well, not always. I mean, a recent change, but my understanding is it was. Having a debate about that recently with somebody. Units with free movement can now miss their attacks when attacking uphill targets. Units with free movement now can miss their attacks when attacking uphill. Right, Bat Rider, Dragonite, Lena and Flamecloak, Terrorblade. Ah, it's a nerf to Lena. Like that. Terrorblade's reflection illusions, I guess if they happen to be flying. Were they always flying? I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, item changes. I know there's been a lot of item changes. Cornucopia removed. Craziness. Okay. Shop reshuffle. Items in all shop categories except consumables have been rearranged to accommodate new items. Ha! This is why I never memorize it. I just have like a vague feeling in my brain where the item is. Um, but there's no point in memorizing because it's just going to change. Consumables now include infused raindrops. Makes perfect sense. Okay, basic items. We got some new basic items. Chasm Stone, 800 gold, provides plus 40 area effect. Not a lot. Area effect bonus from multiple Chasm Stones or its upgrades do not stack. Okay, 40 I don't think is that much. It's not nothing, but it's not like massive. But it's interesting that there's a base item for it now. That they don't stack. You're not going to fill your inventory with this to do some ridiculous shenanigans. Shawl 450 provides 10% magic resistance, which is cheaper than the 20% on our cloak. They nerfed it from 20 to 18. Okay. And made it cost more. So that there's more interest in this shawl. Okay. So now we have two base items for magic resist. Interesting. Splint mail. So mid-tier armor item. 950 and 7 armor, which is pretty good. Comparing to 14 for 10 armor. Wizard's hat. A little bit of extra mana for 250. I mean, hey, my brain needs some good exercise. I gotta learn all these new item recipes. I'm down. Mail, cost decreased, 50 gold. Cool. Cloak, nerfed. More expensive, less magic. Cornucopia removed. Honestly, it took me a long time to warm up to the concept of cornucopia because it weirdly replaced perseverance. And to have both perseverance and cornucopia was a bit odd. I didn't like the separation, and I'm glad that they're reverting this. Because I did just like the perseverance, honestly. Cornucopia was kind of like, it just added some weird diversity in a way that I didn't like. Like, I liked the fact that perseverance built into so many different things, and that you could kind of like flex a few item builds, where cornucopia just split that whole apart. I'm not sad. I'm not sad to see this go. Orb of Frost now also modifies incoming healing, right? Yep, sure. Didn't it do that before? Well, I guess it was just affecting the okay, I understand this change now. Now these health reduction items are going to be working against healing that's going from one hero to another. Pretty cool. I'm gonna have to get some shut-eye. It took me about 2 hours. Oh no. God. Hopefully I can get in 2 hours. I gotta work tomorrow. Have a good night. Take it easy. Refresher shard resets cooldown, no longer refreshes items. Yeah. My wife was peeping the changes before I was even looking at them. And she spoiled that the refresher no longer refreshes items, which is huge. It's kind of bonkers. It's one big reason why you get refresher rates for like BKB. Interesting. Interesting that they're doing that. Ring of Health. Item move back to the secret shop. I love it. Void Stone as well. Good. I was sad when they took that away. Great for position threes. Position threes have had it rough. So these little changes here are just gonna make things feel a little better for them. Voodoo Mask. Lifesteal bonus increased. Good. This thing needed a buff, honestly. You're never really getting yourself a casual Voodoo Mask early. It didn't feel like. So glad to see it. Okay, so we got some new upgrades. Really? Specialists array? Okay. Don't go ahead. Consecrated Wraps. It's a new armor item. So this is built by a Vitality Booster, a Shawl, which is our cheap magic resist, crown, and then a 700 recipe. 2600 total. Provides 15 magic resist, health, 6 attributes. Wow. Cool. Interesting. It's like a cheap Eternal Shroud. Maybe a little bit better. Hold on, I haven't even finished reading it. I'm just looking at the stats and I haven't. Okay. Passive. Hallowed. Gain a stack every 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 3 stacks. Whenever the wearer takes damage from a player-controlled unit or Roshan, all stacks are removed. Create an all-damage barrier for 7 seconds that absorbs 120 damage per removed stack. Wow. What is the cooldown? If the wearer reaches a maximum amount of stacks at least once in a game, regaining a stack provides a non-stacking buff that increases movement speed. What? Has no damage threshold, but doesn't proc from health loss, like Heartstopper, right? Can't gain stacks for 3 seconds after taking damage. Okay, so hold on. This thing builds up stacks every 3 seconds to a maximum of... So 9 seconds, you're going to get 3 stacks. And then when you take damage, the stack is going to get removed. All of them are going to get removed, depending on how many you have, to give you a barrier. This seems really broken. That cooldown is so low. If the wearer reaches a maximum amount of stacks at least once in a game, that's such a weird sentence. Regaining a stack provides a non-stacking buff that increases movement speed. Why is this such a weird... If the wearer reaches a maximum amount of stacks at least once in a game. So you buy it, and then 9 seconds later, you're going to have maximum stacks. Right? Am I crazy? I'm gonna try to avoid doing too much of this, but it kind of has me baffled. It seems really strong. Every 9 seconds, you're going to get a 360 all damage barrier. That can't be right. That is way too strong for that item. There's got to be something else to it.
We're nearly at the part where everything dies over and over.
Cool new icons. Okay, this thing. Gain a stack every 3 seconds. I'm getting stacks, I'm getting stacks. Full up. Enemy.
Come on.
Wax me. Now I have an all damage barrier. Yeah.
Trajectory confirmed. Wilco.
What? Movement speed is increased. So you get a temporary movement speed increase once you get full stacks. And you get the barrier, which is nuts, by the way. That's an insane barrier. Okay, and then you need to not take damage for 3 seconds. You get a stack. You get damage taken again. You get a lower barrier. Must be dispellable, I'm guessing. This seems really strong. I don't understand the movement speed bonus.
What's that? Quit your mumbling. What's that? Hey! Ah,
this is gonna make you like every hero that is gonna want to tank anything. Is gonna want this item. I mean, so you have to like consistently hit them, but if you stop hitting them for like 3 seconds,
maneuvering.
get
Bingo.
I'm baffled. I am baffled. This is gonna get nerfed so fast.
Deploying.
Am I correct? Like, this just seems like it's an all damage barrier. That's magic resist too, right? Like,
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love more items, but like,
Gyrocopter.
that seems really, really strong. For only 2,600 gold? That seems really strong. Okay. 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 I mean, I could be wrong. But from what I'm seeing, like, that's every engagement that you have, you're going to have an extra 365 health. If the engagement, if you happen to be able to get yourself out of getting hit for only 3 seconds, like 3 seconds isn't that long. Like, some heroes are gonna like Puck is gonna have a hoot with this. I mean, obviously Puck like wants to build like it's strictly a defensive item, but it's a really strong defensive items. And heroes that go in and out, like Void Spirit is just gonna like eat this thing up. Like, damn. Okay. Crazy. Krilla's Crozier. Crozier? What is a Crozier? Requires Ghost Scepter. Yay, Ghost Scepter builds into something again. I mean, I know it built, but nobody was building Ether Blends anymore, so good. Something else. Soul Booster and a recipe, so 4,800 gold. Provides 6 attributes, health, mana. Active, Rite of Rumius. The wearer enters ghost form, as we know, becoming immune to physical damage but is unable to attack and more vulnerable, same as that. Deals 5% movement speed from enemy heroes in a radius, so like Necro's W. Movement speed steal lasts, bonus stack and half duration refreshed. Ghost form and stolen speed can be dispelled off the wearer. The stealing debuff that provides new stacks can't. Right. Passive. Petrification Aura reduces health restoration of nearby enemy heroes by 30%. While Rite of, I mean, it says active, the effect is increased but to 75. What? Damn. Okay. So you're essentially getting Necro's W with this item. And then when you cast it, you are significantly reducing the health restoration of the enemy around you. And a 900 radius, like, that's a passive. 30% and 75 when it's used. How long is the 4 seconds? Oh. I mean, this is much more expensive. If this was also 2,600 gold, I would say that Valve lost its mind. 4,800. It's pricey. So not a cheap item to get, but lots of value in it for sure. Late game support item for sure. Which is cool, right? Because sometimes you're a core and you don't want to have to change your build just to reduce health restoration, but sometimes the enemy's draft kind of needs it. Where this is like you can a support or a greedy position 4 can get this. So cool item addition. I like it. Essence Distiller. Acquires Urn, so something else to build Urn. That's good. Urn is going to be more and more popular. I like the change that they made that multiple urns can get charges because it made this item just more buyable. So this one you get Urn of Shadows, Chainmail, Wizard Hat, and a 200 gold recipe. 1775 provides 1.75 magic regen, 3 all attributes, 6 armor, 150 mana. Active soul release when cast on an ally provides the health regeneration. If the ally is attacked by an enemy hero Roshan, the effect is lost. So kind of what we know with Urn. When cast on an enemy, deals 25 damage per second. Provides true sight over them and shares their vision with the wearer's team. And this lasts for how long? Both last 8 seconds. Can be cast on the ground to put a dormant effect that will latch to the first enemy hero that comes within 400 range of it. The effect waits for 15 seconds and provides vision. Very cool. You can put like a quick little area vision if you suspect someone's on a high ground. That's a very cool utility item. Gains charges every time an enemy hero dies. Gains 1 charge if the hero dies. Gains 2 charges. That has no charges. Cool. Like an upgraded urn that has this kind of vision vision utility to it, which is very cool. We don't see a lot of items in Dota where it looks like they're introducing this vision game a little bit more. Like put this on a Night Stalker that's flying around with his ult, and that'll just make life a little easier against the hero, right? These heroes that are like flying over trees and like, oh, where are they? We're gonna get jumped from any angle. Like you throw this on them, and for 8 seconds, at least you have a good idea of where they're at. It's like a mini track. Very cool. Very, very cool. Dispellable, I imagine. Specialist's Array. Okay, what does this thing do? This thing did an extra attack, didn't it? So now we can just build it outright. Blade of Alacrity, Broadsword, Recipe. 25 provides 20 damage and agility. Okay. Passive split shot, ranged only. Very important. Ranged attacks have a 30% chance to fire additional projectile at up to 2 nearby enemies. So 2 extra projectiles that are in the original attack target within a front-facing angle within the range. Within the attack range plus 150. Okay, so you got a cone in front of you that may have additional hits. The additional projectiles deal 20, 75% damage of normal attack. Do not trigger on hits effect. Okay, so they're going to be slightly nerfed damage-wise. They do not trigger. I was going to say that, okay, this is a big one. If this wasn't in there, this item would be like overbought and broken. But the fact that it doesn't trigger on hit effects, that's fair. I think that's a good balance because it would be a bit too strong if it didn't. But it's a cool item. There are some interactions. They didn't mention TA. And if TA gets her Psy Blades off of this, that would be pretty dope. The primary attack deals plus 20 damage plus full damage. Okay, so you're getting plus 20 damage when it procs on your original hit as well. Does not work with other sources of secondary projectiles from other hero abilities. I mean, Gyro might still like it. I guess if you already have Flat Cannon, you don't really care for this thing. Flat Cannon cooldown's not that high, so. Medusa Split Shot, obviously not going to work with that. Morta's Gunslinger. Morta's not going to give 2 shits about this item then. I was going to say it would be good if it was on Muerta, but she already has this built into her kit. And a better version of it, because it's only 30% chance. But there's definitely some other heroes that are going to really enjoy this. Sniper, sadly. Gonna like this. Yeah. I was gonna say, does it build into anything? Reading on. Hydra's Breath. So requires Specialist's Array, so this new item, plus Dragonlance. Okay. Orb of Venom and a Recipe. Very expensive item, 5,900 gold. Provides 25 damage, 30 agility, 15 strength, and 150 attack range. It's passive, Miasma. Miasma? I love Dota just teaches me new words. Miasma? Half the fun of Dota is pronouncing all the weird words in it. Attacks poison the target for 3 seconds, dealing magic damage equal to 2.5% of their target's max health every second. Cool. The debuff is reapplied. The duration is refreshed. Can be applied by illusions or Roshan. Okay. Illusions get specialist array. Wonder if that's important or not. You get Manta plus specialist array. Be interesting. Um, passive. Polycephaly. Range attacks have a 30% chance to fire up to 3 things, so same thing as the other one. The same angle, same attack range. Additional projectile deals the same, so this is just the same as the other one. Do not trigger on-hit effects except for miasma. Okay, so this one is doing this. You are potentially doing up to 3 targets with this effect. Similar to specialist array, doesn't work with other sources of secondary projectiles. Okay, cool. Is it cool? It's not bad. I mean, it's a good, like, it's good against tanky heroes, right? Big health pools. Give you some extra oomph, magic damage, extra magical damage oomph for your ranged hits. Interesting. This can be a patch of ranged heroes.
All systems nominal.
Like Lena. I mean, any fast attacking right click range is gonna think about getting this. And there are a lot. There are quite a few. Mirana. Maybe. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Come on, you
Interesting item. More variety of items. Um, yeah. I wonder if TA's side blades are going to work on it. That's the hero in my brain with this item right now. Arcane boots recipe change now also requires a wizard's hat. Recipe cost decreased. Total cost has been increased by 100 gold, but it also gives mana, which is good, honestly. I don't mind the 100 gold. I mean, that might feel a little bit bad for support trying to get it. Sometimes that last stretch feels a bit bad, but the fact that it also provides extra mana now is nice because there's definitely some strength heroes, Tide and Primal Beast and some others that like you kind of miss. You kind of miss that extra mana that used to be on the boot. They kind of brought it back, making you pay for it though. It's fair, which is fair. Um, yeah. Guardian Greaves. So recipe costs increased by 50. Total cost increased by 150. Now also provides mana. Regen bonus decreased. Ooh, okay, so they nerfed the mana regen on it. Okay. Battle Fury recipe change now requires Perseverance instead of Cornucopia. Yep. Total cost unchanged. Better build up, honestly. Cornucopia was kind of the icky item to try and force onto it, so I mean, like AM. Remember the change when they put Cornucopia out? The change to AM's lane. Like the Ring of Health was just a nice quick item to get on AM, so might be the case again. Black King Bar duration changed. So they're hacking off the 4th increment. Now it's 9, 8, and 7. It's not going to go lower than 7 seconds of immunity. Just fair. I don't think that's a major. I mean, it's a whole second and definitely late game. That's going to affect some fights for sure. So not insignificant, but also not like breaking. Blade mail recipe change now requires splint mail instead of chain mail. Total cost is going to be just 100 gold more, but you get more armor out of it, even though you're paying for that armor. which is kind of overall a nerf to the item a little bit, which honestly Blade Mail needs it. This item has always been like strong, just mechanically, conceptually. Any nerfs to this item, I'm not surprised to see. And it will always be strong. Crimson Guard. Armor bonus decreased from 8 to 6. Guard base damage block rescaled from 70 for all units to 70 on melee heroes and buildings and 45 on ranged. Ha! Yeah. Okay. I mean, this item has been very strong. The fact that ranged heroes can get the same level of damage block as melees was a strong component of this item, so they're taking that out now. Guard max health damage block decreased from 2.2 to 2. Max health damage block. Yeah, I heard this recently that your damage block was related to your health. And still the case, huh? I always just thought it was a flat amount, but I didn't realize there's this percentage amount on it as well. Dragon. Getting changed. Recipe. Now requires a point booster, wizard hat, and a crown instead of a diadem and voodoo mask. Okay. Better build up. Slightly better build up. Risk cost has been unchanged. The total cost is increased by 250 gold. Wowzers. Okay. No longer provides spell lifesteal. All attributes bonus has been decreased. Okay, so those are all the bad parts. Give me some good. Now also provides some health, mana, strange, interesting. Strange, really. Huh. I mean, not bad cast range either, honestly. I mean, 60 at low level, but it scales up to 180 Dagon level 5. But it doesn't, okay, but it doesn't stack with Aether Lens. If it's stacked with Aether Lens, that would be like fascinating. Energy burst cast range decreased to a flat 640, but you're going to get the same amount, right? 640 plus what's 180? Okay, so later levels of Dagon are going to be shorter ranged. Yeah, effective cast range with items built-in cast range bonus has been decreased. So same at the initial levels, but it's going to be decreased later. Higher levels of Dagon. Energy burst no longer instantly kills non-ancient creeps. Really? Energy burst no longer heals for 70%. Honestly, it's a big nerf. The stat differences is like, I don't know, does this become more of a support item? Like who buys Dagon? Nyx Assassin, Rubik, Pugna, Necro, Quap. Some heroes that can buy it, right? It's always kind of been a meme kind of item. I mean, it's core kit to Nyx Assassin. Is Nyx Assassin going to be sad about this? Probably not, honestly. I think Nyx Assassin might actually like this change. The extra cast range. I mean, you typically get sometimes an Ether Lens on them. How much is Ether Lens cast range? What's the numbers here? 25 versus 180, so it's not nearly as much cast range, and you have to get all the way up to the highest level. Yeah, I don't know. So Nyx Assassin's ultimately gonna have less if he's, but then he doesn't have to buy Ether Lens. Just spending gold on an extra. Yeah, I don't know. Extra health and mana. Doesn't kill instant creeps. No healing out of it. It's kind of a nerf. Kind of sad to see it. Better build up lately. Less attributes on it. More expensive. No. No, it's been nerfed. Sad. Dragonlance. Range, attack range bonus decreased. Bit. Fair dues. Hurricane Pipe receives the same. Thrust cast range on enemies has been decreased slightly. Same thing with the thrust push distance. Drum of Endurance. Recipe change now requires a headdress instead of a robe of Maggie. All right. Recipe cost increased. Total cost is unchanged. We're switching out healing for or int for healing. No longer provides the int. Strength bonus increased by 1. Swiftness aura also provides a 2.5 health regen. Endurance now shares cooldown with Boots of Bearing. Yeah, so you can like stack that up. Well, you couldn't before anyway? Were people buying drums and Boots of Bearing? No, no way. That's crazy. I think the minus int, like 2.5 health regen. I mean, building this item is going to feel better for lane, or laning stage. But I think there's a lot of heroes that are going to feel bad on that enjoyed the 7 intelligence. Like, well, I mean, like Beastmaster. Like to build this here, this sometimes. I mean, no, Beastmaster's been going eggs mostly. You don't really bother with drums too much. I mean, it's one of those just like supporty items. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I'll start the
There's probably some like strength heroes that, because like the strength on it's nice. Getting it plus the int kind of solved a few mana issues for some heroes. So not going to be the same, but for the heroes that are buying it and have that regen in lane, that might feel a little better. Eternal Shroud has been removed, right? Because they give us this other item. So Eternal Shroud, we're now going to be buying the wraps. Okay. And that makes sense. Right? No, this was the shroud. Wait, no, this was the shroud. Yeah, this is your shroud replacement. Which, honestly, this is a strong item. This is a really strong item for its cost. Shroud was like... Shroud was good, but it was a little bit expensive. Like, the mana was nice on some heroes, but I mean, overall, I think this, like, when it initially came out, it was strong, but they kind of nerfed it. And Pipe kind of got strong. Like, you would get this item when you needed the 10 strength and health, right? When Pipe didn't feel like it was giving you enough health and that the team didn't really need it, you would kind of go Eternal Shroud. So I don't, yeah, I don't, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this item fits into the new game. Having both like Eternal Shroud and that item in the game would be weird. I don't think you would ever. Like the fact they're taking out Eternal Shroud and just leaving us with this is interesting because we're not getting as much magic resist, but we are getting barriers. It's cheaper. Stats are probably better generally. Like you're not getting 10 strength, but you're getting 6 strength and then your other stats. I think it's more of an interesting item, that one up here, than Eternal Shroud. Ethereal Blade can no longer be disassembled. That's a choice. Wonder why. Glepnir. Recipe changed. Now also requires a chasm stone, which is the AoE thing, right? Recipe cost has been decreased. Good, because nobody likes buying a recipe that costs that much. Total cost has been increased, though, by 100 gold. Area effect bonus from multiple chasms or escapes do not stack. Okay. Sure, so we're just buying the base item thing for this. So this build-up is going to feel a little bit better. 75 area. This thing only gives 40. It's expensive, too, for 40. Like, it's not going to feel that good. I don't think this is going to feel that good. I mean, you'll casually get it as you're building towards Gleipnir if that's what you're choosing to do. But I don't think you're going to notice a huge increase in your AoE. Maybe there's some really tiny AoEs that will have a significant effect. I think. Like maybe Rot might feel a little bit better. But I mean, 800 gold is no small amount. I wouldn't just casually get that for a bigger Rot. Yeah. Glimmer Cape. Recipe changed. Now requires the shawl instead of a cloak. Recipe cost has increased. Bummer. But the cost is unchanged. I mean, so we're getting a cheaper magic resist item, but the magic resist is lower. And generally what I'm seeing is less magic resist across the board. Magic resist is going to be a little bit nerfed, which I think is okay. Not significantly, but I think a good amount. You definitely notice the point. Like if you're magic heavy, you definitely notice the moment a pipe comes out. Like team fights just suddenly take a big shift sometimes. So maybe that won't be as drastic. Hand of Midas. More changes. Transmute no longer prevents camp clearing. Madstone bundles from spawning if it was used on the last neutral in a camp. Okay, so you're still getting your Madstones. Getting guaranteed Madstone bundles from transmute used to prevent camps from spawning. Interesting. Okay, some weird nuance there that I had no idea about. Been fixed. A problem I was not aware of has been fixed. Harpoon. Draw forth can now be target trees. And we'll pull the caster to it. Bringing the tree on its way. What? That's cool. You're giving everybody a timber chain. I mean, not everybody, but... What's the cooldown? 19 seconds? Neat. Neat, cool. Broken? I don't think so. Definitely in some situations, it's going to be very clutch. Like, it's going to save some people's lives in certain cases. But, I mean, you still want to... The pull towards you is always going to have value, right? So... Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, Halberd recipe change. So now requires the evasion, splint mail, ring of health, and a recipe. 3,400 gold. So it's much more expensive now by 800 gold. No longer has, so it's going to have evasion, but not Vanguard. It can't be disassembled. No longer provides 175 health. Now also provides 9 armor and evasion. I mean, that's an interesting change of numbers. Because like Vanguard is kind of spastic in how it guards. Because it's like 50% chance to block 30 or something, or 70% chance to block 30. And so many changes over the years, I can't remember them all. 60% chance to block 50. Which is like very spastic. I mean the health, the item overall with the extra health is like... Well, now you're kind of getting this flat... I mean, flat in your 9 armor, but then 25% evasion. Kind of cool. No longer has damage block passive, right? Disarm cooldown has been decreased by 4 seconds. Disarm cast range has been increased. Disarm duration has been increased. Remember when this thing used to be disarmed for 5 seconds and it was undispellable? That was the heyday of Halberd. Understandably, it needed some nerfs, but they're bringing it back a little bit. I mean, this item was just not purchased at all. Um, Even though, like, conceptually, the utility of it, the disarm, is massive. It's good that it's going to be a little more appealing again. The evasion's an interesting one because, like, suddenly introducing evasion onto your pause threes, like, this is a very nice pause 3 item. It was before it got nerfed into the ground, but now they're kind of propping it back up, and having evasion into it is going to, like, it's really interesting. I mean, you're going to have to watch, like, if you have a core on your team that's eventually going to build Butterfly, maybe not such a great choice. But I mean, if there's no anticipated other evasion on your team, this is going to be very awkward for carries late game. They're not going to buy an MKB for this, but that 25 evasion is gonna stack up. That's nuts when you think about it. Before it was 50% chance to block, 60% chance, 60% chance to block 50. Now it's 25% chance to block 100%. Very strong. Get a Heaven's Halberd and this item up here, and you're going to be unkillable. I mean, not actually, but I mean, you're going to be really tanky. You're not going to be an easy target to take down. It'll be an interesting build. Kaya. Mana regen amp. Decreased. Days. Look at Lena. Kaya and Sanj. Also decreased. Now also modifies incoming healing. Yes. Meme Hammer. Regen also affected. Not as much though. A little bit of appealing Meme Hammer. It's only 5% decrease instead of a 10%. Yashakaya, 10%. Lotus Orb cannot be disassembled. Why are they doing this? Why are they making things undisassembled? Questions. Mage Slayer recipe change. Oh, I was really enjoying Mage Slayer. When the item first came out, I was like, this is a really cool item concept, but it sucked. They've, like, finally brought it up to a point where it's like, this is a great item. Maybe it still is. Okay, so now requires Perseverance instead of Cornucopia. Requires Blade of Attack instead of Gloves of Haste. Low cost has been increased by 300. Range is bigger due to cloak cost increase. What? Range is bigger due to cloak cost increase. Whatever. Stop trying to confuse me. No longer provides 30 attack speed. Sad. Health regen bonus has been increased. Mana regen bonus increased by slight amounts. Damage bonus has been increased by a bit. Mage Slayer damage type changed from magical to physical. Mage Slayer damage per second has been doubled, but it's physical. Okay. I mean, so the minus 30 attack speed on it is a bit sad, but when you think about it, typically you're buying this thing on a hero that already has some form of delivery that is not dependent on attack speed. I'm thinking Ember Spirit, I'm thinking like Hoodwink. I mean, who else? Faceless Void with Agnum Scepter. Like there's some buyers of this item that are not gonna care two shits about this. Loss of attack speed, but then there's gonna be others like DK. Um yeah, it's kind of sad. Like sometimes this was just a nice item to throw on your core, like Slark, PL, like some item, like like late game cores just kind of liked this item for the attack speed, so this item just feels less appealing to them. Um, Perhaps more appealing to the rest of those heroes that have their delivery system. So kind of an interesting change. Not about the attack speed, honestly. You just have to find your attack speed somewhere else, I guess. You can still go it, but then you have to just bite the bullet that you're not going to be attacking as fast as you used to. The damage increase is, I think, a bit negligible. The fact that it's physical, 40 per second, no, not an insignificant amount. For what, 3 seconds? Times 120 damage. It's not bad, honestly. 120 damage a second. No, 120 damage over 3 seconds. Physical. It's going to work better with armor reduction. And probably be stronger in the early game. Late game, big armors are going to reduce this significantly. Mask of Madness. Berserker now also grants 30% slow resistance for the duration. Cool. Berserker bonus movement speed change from 25 to all heroes. Now it's percentage based. Interesting. Better for melee. Berserker armor reduction decreased by 1. Cool. Overall, pretty decent buff, honestly. These numbers here, what is it? Like average movement speed is 350. 8 times 3, 16. Kind of a nerf to the movement speed, but you're getting the resistance, which is going to be huge. In some cases. Mech. More expensive, just inflation, just general inflation. Come to know and love in this world. Total cost unchanged. Monkey King bar. Recipe cost has been increased. Sad. Total cost is also increased by 300 gold. Damn, it's 5k gold now for this item, eh? Damage bonus has been increased by 10. Attack speed bonus increase by 5. Now also provides a 50 plus 50 attack range to melee heroes. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Get that like Monkey King feel to it. That could be interesting. 50, insignificant, but 300 gold extra might feel a bit bad in some cases. Sometimes you're like struggling to get this item and you really, really need it because a PA is kicking your ass. Let's see. Nullifier recipe change now requires a splint mail instead of a helm. Total cost decreased by 25 gold. No longer provides the health regen. Okay. Oblivion staff mana regen bonus increased by a little bit. 25.25. Orchid recipe change. So now requires a claymore instead of a cornucopia. Recipe cost decreased. Cost is unchanged. Doesn't give you the health regen. Bonus damage increased by 10. Mana regen decreased by 0.5. And okay. Not having the health regen is a little bit sad, but I mean, it was a little bit overpowered, I would say. It was just a little bit too appealing for a lot of heroes with the health regen. I don't think it's a bad thing taking it out. Giving it a little bit more damage The mana regen, like, yeah, it's a bit of a nerf there, but it's not huge. You're getting more int out of it now, which is kind of should be it. I mean, it used to historically be oriented towards int heroes. I like that they made it a little more universal. Um, Now they're just scaling it back a little bit with the health regen. Bloodthorn is going to be changed in the same way. Attack speed bonus decreased. Okay, hold on, now requires Oblivion Staff instead of the Hyperstone. Oh. Wait, didn't this thing need a Oblivion Staff? Are you building 2 Oblivion Staffs for this now? I'm confused. One of those items that have changed so much, it's like, don't quiz me on the items. Yeah, you need Oblivion Staff. And now you need another Oblivion Staff. Double Oblivion Staff. That's what it used to be. Back in the old day, wasn't Orchid 2 Oblivion Staffs? Am I crazy? I'm digging deep into historical Dota here. There was an item that was 2 Oblivion Staffs, and I think it was Orchid. Cool. Nerfs increase there, damage bonus increase. Attack speed's been decreased slightly. 15. Cheaper. Cheaper by 225. Quite expensive. Orb of Corrosion now also modifies incoming healing. Yep. I have Scotty does the same. It did it before anyway, so cold attack no longer has a separate value for incoming healing. Health reduction restored has been increased by 10%, so a little bit of a buff to it. Pay this. Recipe changed. Now requires Wizard Hat instead of the energy booster, so cheaper. Recipe cost, though, has been increased. Total cost has been decreased, though, by 50 gold. Slightly less mana on it. Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to cry about that. Somebody out there is crying about that. I'm sorry. This is like their item. It's been nerfed into the ground. Solar Crest. Recipe changed. Now requires chainmail instead of a crown. Oh. Recipe change on cost. Total cost unchanged. So it doesn't give you attributes anymore. You get more armor out of it. Mana bonus has been decreased. Health bonus has been increased. Yeah. I think the stats were just a little too convenient. I think making it more of an armor survivable type of item is good. Remember the Medallion of Courage? Fun times. Perseverance. Health regen bonus has been decreased. Oh no, by a full 1.0. I mean, the ring itself is still the same, but you're not getting as much out of it. Are you going to notice a big difference between 6.5 and 5? Absolutely. These boots. Cost decreased. Your chainmail cost decreased. Phylactery. This item's getting nerfed. Only slightly, though. Same as the Perseverance, but keeping it as is. And honestly, cool. I like Phylactery. I like the change they made to it. It's strong, but I mean, it just gave so many heroes some different item options with it. So cool. Glad they're keeping it. Pipe of Insight. Recipe now has been changed. So no headdress. We're having a shawl. Recipe cost has been decreased. Total cost is unchanged. Barrier no longer affects units that have been affected by barrier with Pipe of Insight cooldown. Barrier no longer affects units that have been affected by barrier within Pipe of Insight's cooldown. Yeah, I mean, that's always been the case, hasn't it? You couldn't stack them. They always had a cooldown. I guess now it's specific to the actual... You know what? It's not that important. To me, this is not really changing anything. You can't put multiple pipes on your team to get multiple barriers. That would be way too overpowered, so yeah. Radiance. Burn toggling no longer breaks invisibility nor stops channeling. Good. It shouldn't. It should not. Refresher orb. Here's the big one. Health regen bonus increased. Mana regen increase. Reset cooldown cost decrease to a flat 180. No longer skills with use. They added that. So it's interesting that they took it away again. Reset cooldown mana cost decreased, but it doesn't refresh items. Yeah, I mean, honestly it was a little bit too popular for the fact that it refreshed your BKB. I think it's a perfectly fine change because BKB is just like you get 2 BKBs in a fight. That's just too much. It's one too many. Not surprised to see that. It's going to affect a lot of people. Like a lot of people who buy refresh orbs like for the late game are going to maybe think twice about it without the BKB part to it. Revenant's Brooch. Spell bonus lifesteal increased. This item is like, it's good. Good. It just needs like just a slight tip. Maybe this is it. 14 to 50% lifesteal. I don't know. It's a good item. Like damage wise, it's pretty good. It's kind of circumstantial. Like when you're deciding to get this over just like crit Daedalus, there's definitely like you want the like you whatever you're doing, you want the spell lifesteal to be a benefit to you. Otherwise, you just go for the Daedalus. Feeling like they just need to buff it just a little bit, just a slightly little bit. Make it 35% chance instead of 30. Sanj. Slow resistance bonus increased by 5%. Now has the healing mumbo jumbo on it. Abyssal Blade, also same. And Yasha. Ooh, Shiva's reworked. Don't jump ahead. Status resistance bonus has been increased by 1%. Wowee. Oh, they're leaning into it a little bit. They nerfed it. Remember, it used to be 25%. I'm misremembering that, but like they nerfed it a lot. Now they're bringing it slightly back by 1%. Also has the slow resistance bonus increase. All right, Shiva's Guard. Please tell me you've cheapened the recipe cost. Yes, thank goodness. 2,050 for a recipe was madness. That was more expensive than Refresher, which was like 1,800 or something. Good. Not bad. All right, so now requires Splint Mail, Chasm Stone. Ooh, it's going to have bigger AoE instead of a Veil of Discord. Total cost has been decreased significantly by 675 gold. It was very expensive, but good item. Even after all the nerfs, still like a good item. So no longer provides strength agi int or health regen. Armor bonus up by 2. Now it also provides a 75 area effect. Cool. 2 items doing it, which is good. I think that's needed. Area effect bonus from multiple chasm stones or its upgrades do not stack. Understandable. Arctic blast damage increased. More damage out of it. Radius probably hasn't been affected since the built-in. And freezing aura no longer reduces health restoration or incoming healing. Freezing aura now pierces debuff immunity. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so it's still reducing attack speed passively. And it's doing a movement low. But the Arctic Blast is no longer no longer amping magic damage, and it's no longer reducing healing, which is significant nerfs to it. But then you're getting this extra area effect, a bit of extra armor, cheaper. A little expensive though. I don't know. Veil of Discord. I gotta see what the Veil of Discord does now. Interesting item now, what it is. Like the extra, like you're getting it for the area effect. So some heroes, Primal Beast. There's probably quite a few heroes like Leshrac. There's just some like just sort of like heroes that have a lot of AoE in their kit. Who want to just tank up a little bit. This is still going to be quite a good item for them. Spirit Vessel. I mean, the fact that we now have this other item for the healing reduction. Where's it? This thing. Rella's Krayos. Rella's Crozier? Crozier? Buyer Crozier. I'm gonna have to like, I don't know, get used to these names. Like Eternal Shroud, I was starting to get used to, and now it's gone. Spirit Vessel. Soul Release no longer has a separate value for incoming healing. Yep. Tranquil Boots. Break now also goes on cooldown when the item is disassembled. Reassembling the item. Could you disassemble it and then reassemble it and just get... Was that a thing? Was that honestly a thing? That must have been exploited like crazy. Not having to wait the 13 seconds to get your Tranquil Boots? Didn't like Jungle Axe, remember Jungle Axe back in 2017? Axe would like put his Tranquil Boots on the ground, take a camp, and then pick them up again so that get the healing right away. Sometimes. Okay, Veil of Discord. This is going to be interesting, the change. So since Shiva's Guard no longer does more magic, well, this is going to now require a voodoo mask, robe, fluffy hat, recipe. Total cost 1700, so it's the same. Yeah. Slightly cheaper by 25 gold, but gives us different stuff now. It doesn't give us armor, attributes, or healing anymore. It gives us int, health, and 18% spell lifesteal. 18%? That's a bit of a jump, isn't it? Yeah, from 15 to 18. And it builds into Bloodthorn. I spoiled that for myself, but Bloodstone. Okay. Okay. Magic weakness renamed to spell weakness. Because it's going to make their more damage from spells? Was that the case before? No, it was magic before. No, it was spell before. Okay, so there was a time when Veil of Discord was just amping magic. Maybe magic weakness renamed to spell weakness. Let's say rename, but is it mechanically changed? Either way, whether that's happened before or now, spells are gonna do more damage. Which I think was the case before. It's just weird that they didn't change the name until now. Or maybe they did. I don't know. Anyway, it's going into Bloodstone now. So now requires Veil of Discord instead of Voidstone and the Voodoo Mask. Total cost is increased by about 350. So it no longer gives us the mana regen. Spell lifesteal bonus has been decreased by 5. Health bonus increased to 675. So we're getting a lot more health out of this item. Now also provides 15 int. Blood Pack no longer is a basic to spell. Blood Pack no longer multiplies spell life steal bonus by 3. Now increases spell life steal to 60% instead. Spell life steal during Blood Pack decreased. So it's slightly nerfed, but it's still 60%, which is quite a high number. Blood Pack no longer has a 60-second self-debuff preventing repeat usage of Blood Pack. What's the cooldown on it? 30. It also provides passive spell weakness aura. Enemies within the radius take increased spell and damage from spells. Wow. Wow. 12%. Passively. Where this was inactive, you still get the active. Okay. So it's an active up here, and then it turns into an aura on your bloodstone. Which is cool. Big radius, 1200 radius. And then you're activating it for that extra healing. This is really cool. This is going to make spellcasters I mean, I don't want to over exaggerate this, but I mean, spellcasters are going to feel so much better in the late game with this item. Like I'm not going to say they're going to face up against our traditional late game carries, but the fact that you can have a satanic equivalent along with just more spell amp passively. I mean, that's going to feel good for a lot of heroes. A lot of magic, like magic-based heroes, Zeus and Quops and Shraks, and all these heroes are going to feel much better in the late game with this item. Very cool. Very cool. Expensive. Not even that expensive, honestly. The build-up's kind of interesting. Like Voodoo Mask might be good now, just casually now. Definitely might be seeing a little bit more Voodoo Mask being bought earlier. Getting 10 int, health, spell lifesteal. Huh. What does a Void Spirit look like with this item? Void Spirit, Bloodstone, and this crazy tanky item here. Wraps. Could be good. Could be good, maybe. Witchblade. Recipe cost increase. Total cost has been unchanged. Okay. Well, we. Okay, I might have to do this in 2 parts. I do have to work tomorrow. We've only gotten through the items, but a lot of cool changes so far. I mean, we're not through the items. We still have neutral items. Let's keep it going. Neutral item changes. I'm going to cap myself. I have 1 more hour. I have to be in bed by midnight. Okay, neutral item changes. General changes, tier 1 available. Changed. Also, tier 1s are available from minute 0. Wow. That's significant, honestly. Because pulling camps and killing the camps, we get a tier 1 for your supports or your cores. I mean, damn. Cool. That's significant. I mean, that means contesting pole camps is going to be that much more important for the first 5 minutes. It's important before, but more so now. Artifact changes. Number of artifact choices increased from 4 to 5. Tiers 2 to 5. Okay. Nice. I like that. Definitely sometimes it felt like very commonly you would miss out. You would feel like you're missing out. The games, it was like 50-50 that you would get the kind of ones that you wanted. I think increasing the choice up to 5 will make it so it's like 75% or like only 25% of games are you going to have the sad neutral item. So Ash Legion Shield, the wall damage barrier has been increased, and movement speed reduction been also increased. I haven't gotten this one that much, but I mean, it looks cool. It's always like conceptually is a cool one. I don't know why you don't get it. I'm glad they kept it in for this round because it's brand new last time. And I haven't really warmed up to it yet. Chip Fest, damage return to attacking creeps decreased. Dagger of Wristful returned as a tier 1. What did this thing do? Attack, increase attack damage by 25 for 8 seconds. That's an active. But it costs health. You stab yourself for 100 health, but you get an extra 25 damage. I mean, that'll be interesting in some trades. You kind of have to watch that 100 health that you lose, but 25 extra damage is quite significant. Any hero with kit that increases their attack speed? I wonder, is this Faceless Void able to shrug off the health cost? Because that would be like the perfect Faceless Void item. He gets double hits with his bash, so he's going to make good use of that extra damage. And then if he can just shrug off the health cost. Very cool. Forger's Kit, new tier 1. So when this item is off cooldown, the wearer can see trees that can be foraged. Standing next to one of those trees for 1 second will give the wearer one of the following items. What? All items except for bag of gold are placed in inventory. If there are slots available, and can stack up to 5 times per lot. What? Okay, so this is like a quelling blade that you can chop particular trees down and see trees that can be foraged. So there's only specific trees that can be foraged. Fascinating. You can get an ironwood nut. Passively provides 3 movement speed. 1 stat when consumed. What? You can get 1 stat permanently when consumed. That's 0.4 for universal heroes, right? Wow. But you're gonna be running around the jungle like looking for these things and getting nuts for your carries? That's hilarious. Also provides 2 int, can be consumed to instantly grant a target plus 50. That's a vital toadstool, passively provides plus 2 damage. Can be consumed to grant a plus 1 max health regen for 10 seconds. 10 second, 10% healing. If the unit is attacked by an enemy hero, the bonus is lost. Okay. Bag of gold. Just a straight 30 gold to the wearer. Doesn't need to be picked up. Okay. Wow. Fascinating. Just go around foraging shit. You don't need to fight each other. Just go around and be like, you know, one of the peons in Warcraft 3. Up and down trees. Work. Right. This mask. Returning as a tier 1 neutral. Gives us lifesteal, attack heal for 5 health. Attack heal for 5 health. Weird one, eh? On each attack. Marcy's gonna like this. Stone Feather Satchel is a new tier 1. You can toggle it, and then you're going to Transmogrify. Activate to switch the contents of the satchel between feathers or rocks. No mana cost, 6-second cooldown. If you have feathers, increase your movement speed by 12 and distance of force movement effects on yourself by 30%. Interesting. Oh. Pound of Rocks increases armor by 3 and decreases the distance of force movement by 30%. Oh. Forced movement's an interesting one. So Force Staffs. I mean, Magnus push. I mean, Magnus is going to push you. You turn this to rock, so you're not going to move as far. I think it also works with Tiny Tots. Kind of cool, honestly. Loaded Dice now also increases max base damage by 6. Cool. This is a cool item. I really liked it even without this buff for some heroes. And honestly, like that, these numbers are going to add up. This is a good one. I always like this neutral. Crippling Crossbow. Moved from tier 4 to tier 2. Wow. Good, because I was not using this thing enough. Tier 4. Hobble initial damage has been decreased. Low decreased. Cast range decreased. And then, yeah, less healing. We're getting at tier 2 now, and it's just kind of reduced for the tier. Which is cool. Good. I like it. It felt a bit weird getting it as a tier 4, honestly. Very useful, but A, I never remembered to use it. And I think it's just going to have more impact earlier, so I like the change. Medallion of Courage, what? I was joking, but here it is. Returning as a tier 2 artifact. Cast on an ally, increase their armor. Cast on an enemy, decrease their armor. Only by 4, though. Cannot be cast on self. I mean, so you're not losing, you don't initially have armor on it. So this is a bit of armor manipulation for either your allies or the enemy. I mean, -4 armor is no joke, tier 2. Pretty good. Pretty good. Earring Signet. Damage decreased. Burn through damage threshold has also been increased. Bit of nerfs to the item. Honestly, it was a really good item. Minor nerfs to it. I think it'll still be okay. So we have Seeds of Serenity again. This is the one where you put it down and heals. So place an 800 unit circle on the ground. That increases health regen of allies inside it. And the caster's health regen. So you're also getting bonus health regen. Whisper of the Dread cycled out. The vision was interesting, but the spell damage was like... It's kind of a weird one, honestly. It just cycled out. I'm sure we'll see it again soon. Cloak of Flames is back. Emulate. 40 damage per second. Illusions deal 25 damage per second. Wow. Cool. I mean, not an insignificant amount, honestly. 40 damage per second. Half a radiance. More than half a radiance. Beat the Crowd. Cooldown has been increased. Yeah, this thing kind of needed a nerf. Big nuke. Pollinate health restoration loss has been increased to 50. New tier 3. Artisan's Brand. Increases spell damage against player-controlled units by 9. It's player-controlled units. Player control units include heroes and any creeps summoned. Okay. Cool. Or just a passive. You just put it on and enemies around you will take more spell damage. Along with their creeps. Okay. Rated Shiv. Got him getting slightly nerfed. Belt Slinger. Passive. Salvo. Whenever you cast a spell, 20% of the spell's mana cost is restored over 10 seconds. Damn, that's pretty good. That's going to be really good for some heroes. 20% of your mana comes back. Mana recovery duration cannot be modified. Right, from like status resist or whatever. Stormcrafter is also back. We're getting the 6-second zaps up to 2 enemies. Dealing 70 magic damage. And slowing them by 40% for just a little bit. Tier 4s. Some new Tier 4s. Conjurer's Catalyst. Spell Over is a passive. Every 100 spell damage dealt to an enemy deals damage to their surrounding allies in a 300 radius. Every 100 spell damage dealt to an enemy deals damage to their surrounding allies. Hero targets deal 40 damage to their allies, other targets 15. Okay. It creates kind of this AoE effect for your magic damage at a ratio of 40 to 100. So you do 100 damage, it's going to do 40 damage in the area around it. Only 300, so it's not a big area, but two heroes standing next to each other, you're going to be like splashing quite a bit of damage. 40%. A lot. Pretty good. Not a big radius. I wonder if the radius increases with your AoE bonus. See, like that would be a nice AoE bonus for your item, your AoE bonus items. I'm spoiling stuff. Okay, Dandelion. This thing's like strong. This thing back. Magic damage block blocks 300 magic damage from instances over 75 and yep. Damn. Like a nice raindrop, perpetual raindrop, but like buffed up 300 magic damage every 12 seconds. That adds up. Enchanter's Bulb, Bauble, a bubble, but not quite a bubble. It's a bauble. Passive enchant. Increase bonus of the item's neutral enchantment by increases bonuses of the item's neutral enchantment by 15. Every time you craft this item again, the bonus is increased by 40%. You can select any enchantments during recraft, and bonus will still keep increasing as long as you keep Enchanter's Ball. So you get it at tier 4, and then you can get it at tier 5 again. And it bumps it up to 40 instead of 15. But like 40% increase of these things would be interesting. Some crazy numbers though. What? I mean, I don't know what the numbers are on that, but it's fascinating. And you can continue to craft it again. Like if you go beyond tier 5s, you can get up to 80%, I guess, or be 95%. I don't know if that's good or not. but it's interesting. Metamorphic Mandible. Duration increased by a second. This is went to insect form. You get more magic resist. 50%, that's a lot. You get more movement speed. But you get your armor reduced by 45% each. But much more magic resistance. So you're switching, going from armor to magic resist with this item. This is a new one that I just haven't used much of. Speaking of new ones, Prophet's Pendulum. Passive. Linger. 30% of damage taken is delayed over 5 seconds. Damage ticks every 1 second and is lethal. Okay, so this is like Kanka's Brew. 30% of damage taken is delayed over 5 seconds. Damage ticks every 1 second. Damage delay. 5 seconds.
Let's go for a spin.
Let's see how this compares to Boat. Wig. Admiral's Rum. Damage from new buildings. Bonus wounds and delayed reaction to 18% of incoming damage. Only 18%? There's no way. This must have changed. Be a lot more than 18%. They just nerf this into the ground. I guess they get double, right? I see the book gives you double. It was 20 up to 40. Yeah. But I mean, so this is a good neutral.
Got it oiled up and
So,
loaded.
30% over 5 seconds. But it is lethal. That's the difference though, right? Kunka's is non-lethal. So you could technically just like reduce a bunch of damage, survive long enough, and then walk out of the fight and be okay. Or it'll kill you eventually. It's just kind of delaying the damage. You'll seem tanky, but you're not really. It's coming. You'll have a longer chance for your allies to save you and for healing to take effect. So this one's good on healing. Any hero that can kind of heal off some damage, then this thing will be good. Rattle Cage. All right, new tier 5. Harmonizer. Balance. So grants, it's a passive, grants 5% mana cost reduction for every hero ability off cooldown. And 6% spell amp for every spell on cooldown. So if you have abilities off cooldown, they will cost less. When they're on cooldown, the spells will do more damage. The invoker item. Item spells are affected by both effects. However, item cooldowns don't affect the harmonizer buff. The buff counts only current abilities that have cooldowns, even if it's passive. Oh, interesting. Invoke abilities and sub abilities don't count when they're hidden. Okay. I mean, so these are just kind of weird, crazy numbers. Tier 5, I mean, my first instinct is that this is weak. I mean, 6% Invoker is going to get a lot of value out of this. When you've thrown a lot of your spells out, those numbers are going to add up quite a bit. For other heroes, it's going to be like, It'll be okay. Not significant. A lot of heroes are just gonna get like 12% out of it on average. Cost reduction seems a bit weak. Like it's great for Invoker, but everyone else. Oh wait, invoked abilities and sub abilities don't count when they're hidden. Invoker's not even gonna get much out of this. Seems weak, honestly. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the numbers are good. First instinct feels a bit meh. Rift's Shadow Prism, refract health cost. Increase, refract incoming damage, decrease. So a little bit tankier illusions out of this. Not going to cost you as much health to do it. Spider Legs skitter duration, increased to 14 seconds. Wow. Witchbane is back. This thing was good. Active Cleanse applies basic dispels to all units in 300 radius. Cool down 40 seconds. Passive Subjugate. Your attacks deal bonus magical damage equal to 4% of your target's max mana. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, basic dispel. Tier 5. It's circumstantial. Not a strong dispel, it's a basic dispel. Strong dispel would be broken. That's 40-second cooldown, like. How important is a basic dispel? I mean, I guess it's like an extra manta. Right? Yeah, it's not bad. It's probably useful in some circumstances. It can go on your supports, right? The fact that your supports can provide a basic dispel to your cores late game might be a significant shift in a fight. Enchantment changes. Number of enchantment choices increased. Yeah, we saw that. Enchantments no longer randomized. Now options are based on your hero's primary attribute. With some enchantments available to all heroes. Okay. Interesting. Some of these and a lot of these, I mean, they do tend to be kind of oriented. But I mean, there's got to be the odd hero that wants some of these different ones that they're going to feel a bit sad about not having access to anymore. Okay, so I mean, am I gonna remember which is which? Which they would tell me. Which they would say in here, which. Well, it's guaranteed. Okay, so these are guaranteed for some. Number of enchantment choices increased. No longer randomized. Now options are based on your hero's primary attribute with some enchantments available to all. Yeah, so some heroes, some of them you're just not going to be able to have because of your stat, whatever your primary stat is. Which is probably a good thing in the end. But there is going to be the odd hero in the odd circumstance where like sometimes having a quickened on a particular strength hero might be good. I mean, it's for all anyway, but maybe it's hurt. I'm prejudging it without actually knowing what the effect feels like. So no more boundless, no more vast. No more wise. We have quickened. It's gonna give us movement mana, and eventually evasion. Vitality, which gives us our health regen. This one's nice. This one's open for all heroes. Let's do health regen. That's pretty good. Brawny. This is just going to be for strength and edgies. Health regen, slow resist. For strength and int. Agi and universal. It's going to get the attack speed, attack range. Mystical, int, and universal. Anybody can go greedy and get that reduced attack damage. Yeah, like example, like Timbersaw. Loved this one. Right, he doesn't care about attack damage. Likes to have more mana and there's just that extra GPM. It'd be sad if it was just restricted to, but I mean, this one, anyone can have it. Crew, just for strength only. Makes sense. Nimble is going to be agi only. Speed damage. Reduces your health regen. Keen-eyed. More cast range and regen, but then less max mana. Titanic. Universal, you can get more base attack damage. Good stat resist, honestly. But then your attack speed lowering is kind of sad. Timeless. Tier 4. Debuff. Spell lamp. So strength is getting the Vampiric. No, this is for all heroes. Bulking is going to be strength. Audacious. Cooldown reduction. Manic. Speed increase. This one's new? Maybe this one's not new. The one I haven't seen before, but base attack time reduction, that's pretty good. Oh, my tea is finally cool enough to drink. Okay. Neutral creep changes. I mean, we're not going to spend too much time on this unless we see something significant. Generally, what I'm seeing is a slight increase to their damage. Take that back. Some of them have a decrease. Damage rescaling. Honestly, this doesn't look that important. Copies of armor and death tendrils and Cruise with Ranger put on a 5-second cooldown. Okay. So you're not going to get stunned by multiple of them. Definitely see some funny interactions with this, the croakers. Yeah, just some basic neutral creep changes. I don't think it's anything significant. I mean, certainly like the zoo heroes, Chen and Enchantress and any Helm Dominator buyers might feel a bit of an effect on this, but I mean, looks like generally a buff, right? Slightly more damage for later, for the bigger later ones. Okay. Okay, so we're getting into the hero changes now. Remember, facets have been removed, which is absolutely kind of crazy and bonkers. I spent so much time memorizing all of them, actually, but they did get ingrained in my brain, and now I just have to forget them all. But the question is, like, what what then is becoming of all these facets? Are they just getting rolled into their kit? I mean, I can definitely see the argument that having like multiple facets for all the heroes was like just a lot of information to have to decide on. But I'm sad. I'm sad it's gone because I liked it. I liked the complexity. I know that's not, a universal opinion. Um, but yeah, let's see. Let's see what the changes are. Okay, so Withering Mist. Health reduction changed. So now we're getting percentages per level. Mist coil damage heal increased slightly. Cooldown decreased. So first look, they just took away Abaddon's facets, which has something to do with his shield, I think. He used to have it so he can get his right click. Like he used to have it so his Mist Coil did his right click. And now it's just not existent anymore, huh? Like that's a major change. Like Carrie Abaddon gonna feel so much less good without that facet. I mean, generally, a lot of heroes are going to be buffed. I mean, there's this crazy power creep, right? That's always been going on. So maybe just taking out the facets is just going to do a general power reduction across the board. Bad thing, I guess. Alchemist Gravel's Greed, Agnum Scepter now also increases base bonus gold and max bonus gold per kill by 6 per melted Agnum Scepter. Oh, okay. So buying ags for other people is gonna make your Gravel's Greed also increase. Cool. Corrosive Weaponry, movement slow per stack has been buffed slightly. Base attack damage reduction per stack increased 0.5. All right. Buff to that. Talents, Unstable Concoction Radius is increased. Gravel's Greed stacks increase. Acid Spray armor to allies has been replaced. Plus 1% corrosive weaponry slow damage per stack. That's sad. That was a good talent. Oh, man. Ancient Apparition. Remove Death Rhine innate ability. Okay. Honestly, I'm not sad about that. The Death Rhyme felt a bit weird. Like you're stacking up a different, like, you're stacking up the effects of your spells that you would end up doing more damage. But a convoluted way to just say that he's doing damage. So now we have Bone Chill, which is an innate ability passive, improves with his level. When Ancient Apparition deals magic damage with his abilities, affected enemies are chilled for 4 seconds, reducing their movement speed by 2 per stack. The target is an enemy hero. Debuff also reduces their strength by 0.1 per 3 levels. Each instant stack has independent duration. Okay, so it's not completely unusual. It's not completely different from what Death Rhyme was. Now we have a slow out application to it. And the health reduction is interesting. Cold Feet now deals damage per second. Didn't it do that before? Oh, right, it had just like the Death Rhyme, and that's where it was doing the damage, but now it just gave it back, the damage per second. mean, up to 80% damage per second is pretty good times 3. Like 200 140 damage. Ice Vortex also deals damage. Also slows by 8%. Kind of how it used to be. They're just reverting these. Chilling Touch. Mana cost decreased to a flat 35. Cool. Now Agnum Scepter no longer reduces it. Okay, so they just like buffed this skill by just taking the mana way down. I like it. Doesn't feel good to have to spend that much mana on this, and I mean, 35 is quite reasonable. Ice Blast now deals damage per second as well. Again, they're just like putting damage in where the Death Rhyme was. Okay, so +2 cold feet Death Rhyme stacks replaced with +30 cold feet damage per second. So you can get up to 110 damage per second. It's pretty good. Quite a bit of damage. And you're going to be reducing their health, their strength as well. So this is a nice big buff to Ancient Apparition. You're going to feel like the hero already feels good against strength, high health regen heroes. This new innate ability is going to amplify that. Break distance, slightly nerf talent, 25 talent. We're going to have the AoE cold feet once more. Animage, reduced armor. Nope, armor increased by 1. Persecutor passive, no longer levels with Mana Void. Minimum movement slow rescaled. Now it's 12, going up by 0.5% per level. I mean, I think the numbers are roughly going to be the same, right? You'll start to get more slow at higher levels. Max movement speed slow as well. 20, well, you're going to be level 30, so this is going to be up to 54. Yeah, it looks like the later game is slightly buffed for this passive. Mana break. Effectiveness when applied by illusions has been decreased from 50 to 25. Wow. Wow. Really? I thought this use. I'm surprised that it had that reduction on illusions. I mean, the reason why you go mantle on them is because of that mana burn, but they're doing this the same thing they did to PL. They're doing it to Animage, but Animage is, it's so much of his kit is to burn mana with the illusions. So now upgraded with Agnum Scepter, increases mana, max mana burn per hit by an additional 1.5%. Really? Okay. What? I'm kind of sad about this, honestly. So Agnum Scepter now just buffs his mana burn, and that's it. Is that right?
Gonna break your beak! All
Valve, you're going backwards. Okay, no, it still alters the blink. Okay, sorry. I thought it would just be like you buy Agnum Scepter and your mana burn is slightly better. Which is the case, but it's still affecting after casting Blink, your next mana break. It's going to burn an additional 20% max mana. It prevents the target from regenerating mana. I mean, you just buy this for OD, right? I don't know. I think they had some cool things going on with AM. Like the Agnum Scepter where you're able to like blink in an illusion was really cool. It was really strong. But it was cool. It was really cool. It was really dynamic, right? And gave like anti-mage a really cool edge in the late game. And then the counter spell, like, now creates a blink fragment of anti-mage. So now you get kind of an illusion created when you counter spell, but I mean, I really, really enjoyed the putting counter spell on allies because it gave anti-mage this different dynamic of like kind of like could take up a different role in fights.
Locked and loaded.
Okay. Blink cast range rescaled slightly higher at earlier levels, lower at later. Cooldown's been decreased down to 10.5. And then the same at level 4. The mana cost has been increased at initial levels by 15, but then scales back down to 50. Magnum Scepter no longer decreases the cooldown. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Like, this is kind of like some nerfs. That's some pretty good nerfs to Anti-Mage. Magic resist decreased. Even his magic resistance isn't as high. And his counterspell duration has been increased by 0.1 second. Okay, so you have a little bit more window time to put a spell back into their face. Mana Void cooldown increased significantly for early level. Radius has been decreased as well. Damage per 1 mana missing rescaled. Flat 1. So buffed kind of early for damage, but higher cooldown, smaller radius. Okay, talents. We don't get as much magic mana burn. Slightly more on the mana void multiplier. You can get a level 20 talents, so now you can get further blink cast range. And then you can get the -1 blink cooldown on level 25. There was a time when like blink was 3 seconds, wasn't it? Like it was 4, and then you could get the -1. It's up to 6 with -1. Yeah, Anti-Mage, I don't know. It was good, but like, this feels like some bad nerfs to the hero. Arc Warden. Strength gain decreased by 0.2. Agility gain also decreased by 0.3. Damage per level has also been reduced. Base movement speed has been increased. Okay, good. He's not going to be so sluggish. The movement speed increase is going to be good for him. From 285 to 300 is quite good. Runic Infusion, so his passive. No longer grants the regen rune buff on activating any rune. Wow, that was a thing. Now provides Arc Warden with 1.5 all attribute permanent whenever Arc Warden or the Tempest double activates a power rune. Yeah, so that was his facet, one of the facets. The field now pulls runes, so which was the other facet. It automatically activates once they're inside. Spark Wraith, low duration increased by a little bit. No longer upgraded by Magnum Scepter. Tempest double will next be rescaled. Instead of giving up to 300, now it's going to be 70 plus 10 per level. It's going to go up to level 30, 300. It's going to be more. Once you're level 30, that's going to be like 370. Yeah. Just kind of made it so it's scaling a little more consistently with the hero. Significant change there. So now the shard, the Tempest double is infused with the bonuses of Arcane, Invisibility, and Haste runs for 12 seconds. These bonuses don't provide Runic Infusion stacks, obviously. Cool. Not double damage, but you're gonna get Arcane, Invisibility, and Haste rune. Is that good? It's kind of good, right? The invisibility is interesting. You can sneak up on somebody with it. Kind of an interesting one. I mean, these runes are good. If it's double damage, it would be overpowered. Obviously. But even just like the haste invisibility, because you can just like get your shard, cast a Tempest double, and like run them into the enemy, and then just like quickly do some harass. And hopefully get out if you're, I mean, within 12 seconds, I guess. Interesting. Axe, remove Code of Blood, innate ability. One man army. Now Axe's innate ability. Increases Axe strength by 50% of his armor, as long as there are no allied heroes. Axe is going to be like yelling at his allies to get away from him. I need more strength. Culling Blade. Now each hero kill made with Culling Blade provides a permanent stack, which provides 1 point for armor depending on the current level of Culling Blade. Didn't it do that before? Did they take it away and then give it back? I thought it already did that. Maybe not. I mean, it did, but maybe they took it away and now they brought it back. Bane, strength gain increase. So, funny story, Bane has consistent stats. This is not universal for that reason. Um, is he universal? No, he's still an end hero, isn't he? Strength gain. No, he's universal. Lie to myself. Okay, so he's slightly nerfed on his Agi or all his stat gains. Getting less damage. His attack range has been increased slightly. Ikor of Niktasha. So his passive ability is reworked. Every time Bane kills an enemy hero, or they die under the effect of any debuff applied by Bane, they receive a terror for the rest of the game. Each terror stack decreases the enemy's stat resistance to all Bane's debuffs by 5%. Max terror stacks per hero is 5. Wow. That's interesting. It's only related to Bane's spells. It's not like a flat status resist debuff. It's specific to just Bane's spells. But up to 25%? I mean, so that means his sleep, his enfeeble, his Fiend's Grip are going to last longer as the game progresses and you get these debuffs on them. Interesting. I mean, very in line with the hero's lore, right? Nightmare, now a unit vector targeted spell, so they're giving him his facet. Sleeping units walk in Bane's chosen direction. What's his other facet? Honestly, maybe it's good they just get rid of facets. It was just like that much more things to remember that it's like it's just going to ease the brains of Dota players everywhere. Writer. Firefly now also provides an increased movement speed bonus that reaches its maximum at end of Firefly's duration. That's cool. bonus movement speed on it. I think that's good. Good for the hero. Needs it. I mean, the hero is good in players that play it well, but I think something like this will help the hero. A bunch of talent changes. Holdering resin duration. That is. Sticky napalm, max fly movement, flaming lasso, sticky napalm. They're just shifting these around a little bit. You're going to get more damage on your firefly at level 15. You still have attack supply, 1 stack of sticky napalm, which is a level 20 talent now. Wasn't that the shard? Honestly, I have not played this hero enough recently to know all these different things they did to him.
If you don't ride into battle, you
Max
don't
fly
ride
debuff
at
that
all.
deals 20% of the attack damage every 1 second. Really cool. Shard. Right, you can stack it on structures and there's no limit. Okay. More or less the same. Breachmaster. Removed rugged innate ability. Inner Beast is the innate now. Bonus attack speed. Changed to 7 plus 3 per level. So Inner Beast, he's just going to have this aura that gets better over time. Wild Axes, damage per axe increased. Quite a bit. Damage amp per stack decreased, though. Now upgraded with Agnum Shard, Beastmaster's attacks on enemy heroes also apply the Wild Axe debuff of its corresponding level. Beastmaster's attacks on enemy heroes will apply the debuff of Wild Axes. Illusions of Beastmaster don't apply Wild Axe stacks. Wild Axe stacks. They're max stacks. I don't think there's a maximum number of stacks. Isn't this damage amp per stack? And the amp is just for him. For Beastmaster and his units. So this is like, so his shard makes him kind of like Ursa. Right? Where like repetitive hits from Beastmaster is going to make it so not just he, but also his Zoo is going to be doing more and more damage, kind of like Ursa's Fury Swipes. Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, they're leading this hero into like a more of a core, aren't they? I swear, like OG Beastmaster was a pause 4, in my opinion. But definitely in the last few years, it's really been leaning into this core role. Summon Razorback. Call the Wild Boar renamed. Boar's armor is increased. Boar armor attack damage also increased. A little bit by 5. Summon Raptors. They're not raptors, they're just like pigeons. All the Wild Hawks renamed to Summon Raptors. Now it's a separate ability. Hawk's armor. See, don't call them hawks. You rename them as from Wild Hawks to Raptors, but then you say that it's Hawk's armor increased. And then they're Hawk base health and Hawk base magic. Interesting choice. Cooldown decreased right down to 30. Dive damage increased by 10 up to an extra 15 at level 4. Root duration increased. I didn't realize I rooted. I thought it stunned. I guess it roots them. I thought it damaged them or stunned them. I haven't played this hero that much. They must have switched it from stun to root at some point. Hawks are now invisible whenever Beastmaster is invisible. That's good. Affected by smoke. Now summons 2 Hawks by default. Hawks will now prioritize Beast's current attack target. Cool. Nice. I mean, that's good damage. Like, Beastmaster is strong. And he just buffed him some more. We're going to be seeing a lot of Beastmaster. Bloodseeker. Okay. You know what? I'm going to finish the bees. I'm going to finish the bees and then I'm calling it. Gotta get to bed soon. Bloodseeker. Sanguivore. Sanguivore. Drinker of Blood. Max health heal changed from 1.5 to 1.5 per level. Changed from 1.5% plus 1.5% per level up to 1 per. What are you doing to me? Max health changed from 1.5 plus 1.5 per level up to 1.5 per level. Oh, okay. Right, because you get the bonus at level 1 now, so it's just removing the bonus. So this was accounting for not having it at level 1, and now it's flat. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I mean, it has changed because they changed. Doesn't matter. Blood Rage. Now a no target ability that affects only Bloodseeker. Huh. Pure damage based on target's max health with Agnum's Shard now pierces debuff immunity. Drives Bloodseeker into a bloodthirsty rage, which causes him to attack faster and gain attack-based damage across percentage of his health. Yeah. Kind of as it always been. We don't have old blood anymore. Sad. That was short-lived. I was really going to lean into it. But it's gone. Now Blood Rage is just Blood Rage on himself. That can be upgraded by Shard to make it pure damage. Pure damage based on target's max health. Magnum Shard now pierces debuff immunity. Okay. This is what it used to be. So you get the Shard, now you get some more bonus damage on it. Pure damage based on target's max health. How much? Confusing. Okay. We'll figure it out. Bounty Hunter. Big Game Hunter. Ability reworked. Bounty Hunter receives 50% more kill and assist gold if the dying enemy hero is big game. An enemy hero is considered big game if they are one of the top 3 net worth heroes on the enemy team. Okay. I mean, aligning it with his lore. These heroes will have a debuff. It points out that they're among these 3 heroes. Debuff is visible only to Bounty Hunter and his allies. So you can see if they're their top 3 net worth, which is probably going to be their cores, which is probably pretty obvious. Which is kind of funny. I mean, I don't think you need the debuff. It should be pretty obvious. Janata Gold Steel increased at earlier levels, 3. Shadow Walk now grants bonus move speed when active. That also applies to friendly shadow. Cool. I like that. Good buff. Track no longer grants the bonus move speed. Oh. Okay, so they just move the most bonus move speed just to Shadow Walk. Is that good? I mean, it's good for the early game. I think late game, once you become a right-clicking monster, it might start to feel a bit bad. But I mean, maybe you're already just like a highly mobile healing machine anyway. Level 10 talent. Talent damage increase. More damage increase. 30% damage taken in Shadow Walk is huge. It's such a like crazy concept. Makes him really tanky. Minus 30% damage taken is a lot. That's like what's Bristleback's back?
Life just got interesting.
Bristleback's back is
Getting me blood up now.
40%. So you're not as tanky as Bristleback, but you're almost as tanky as Bristleback while your Invis is active. Kind of nuts. Brewmaster. Liquid Courage. Max stat resist changed. Liquid Courage, this gives him so like he's getting the weird drunken brawler thing. Getting stat resist. Max stat resist changed. Yeah. Okay. Primal Split. Earth Bruling Hurl Boulder stun duration decreased at later levels by just 0.2. Storm Bruling Cyclone duration is also decreased. Not by a lot. By 0.75 seconds at level 4. Level 10 Talent, Drunken Brawl, Brewed Up. Yeah, I mean, nothing. I don't think this is that significant to the hero. Light nerfs to Primal Split, but the hero is still going to feel very similar to how it did before. Bristleback, Brickley. Damage and debuff duration amplification changed from 10% to 4.5, but then scaling with levels. Damage and debuff duration. Bristleback has duration amp against enemy heroes that are behind him. But Bristleback has 4.5 damage and debuff duration. Interesting. Is that new? Apparently it's not new, but I had no idea that that's the case. So he does more damage to heroes that are behind him, which makes sense, but cool. Vicious Nasal Goo. So what was the facet? I don't even see. It's like they take away the facets. I don't even remember the Snot Rocket. No more Snot Rocket. I'm not gonna be too sad about it, honestly. Snot Rocket didn't. It was kind of interesting in some circumstances, but for the most part, it didn't feel great. So stack limit increased up to 6 for Nasal Goo. It has the same duration on all units. Used to have double duration for creeps. Okay. Level 25 talent. So now it doesn't have the. This I thought was hilarious. Level 25 talent for Bristleback was a 800 gold item. Replaced with -5 Bristleback damage threshold. Oh, interesting. he's going to be spewing more quills out his back. Broodmother. Okay, brood changes. Rider's milk. Brutal health has heal changed from 2% to 1.9 and then scales. Where the broodmother kills an enemy unit, she and all their unit controls leave a buff for 3 seconds that heals them for a percentage of the victim's health. Cool. Satiable hunger now also applies lifesteal to spiralings. That was the facet that is now just built in. Spin web move bonus decreased. So I guess they took away necrotic webs. It's sad because that was kind of cool for the hero. Movements bonus speed increased. No, decreased. Talents, Spiderling's health increase. Capacitating bite. Duration? No, attack bonus. Level 25 talent, the increase in attack speed also applies to the Spiralings. Damn. Bugs are going to chunk. Okay. I only got to through the bees. I got to go to bed. Be a reasonable human being. Wake up for work tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably continue this later. Fascinating. Very, very fascinating. I mean, to see some of these other hero changes. I think the facet changes are going to feel very significant to some heroes and not so much on others. So far, what I've seen is like hasn't been that over the top. But then again, none of these heroes I felt like had that over the top facets, which may be the case for most heroes. I'm loving the item changes. Really excited to see some of these new items. Consecrated wraps, that is going to be very, very popular, and I'm guessing going to be nerfed pretty quick. I'll see. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more later in